Well, greetings, fellow farming simulator enthusiasts. Here we are back again on good old Gelvin Valley, made by our friend Wild Wild Wes. We are almost done with harvest, just have a small dab of the field left. I anticipate we will finish within this episode, so probably high time coming. Let me hop over to the tractor, get him all set up. Let him know which harvester's coming, like we always do. And there he's gonna sit, except, oh yes, he's checking behind him. Our combine driver is, and detecting a disturbance. Well, we are vastly in the hole here. $30,000. I can't even remember. We've done so many episodes on this map. I can't even remember how deep in the hole we may have been in some earlier episodes. Occasionally, we've come above zero for a little while. But I'm kind of holding off selling the crop that we have because, as we can see in here, prices are vertically challenged. And they're inverted from what I'd like them to be, with all this barley in the storage, and it's taking a tank. So next time, I'm not sure what all I'll plant on all these fields. Maybe I'd plant some fruit trees. Who knows? I definitely need to try something different. You know what they say about insanity, trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. But we keep trying. How did I get that? Oh, I gotta click up here to go back up. Pheasant pluckers is one I typically look at. It always has the highest price unless there is a great demand. But anyway, we're trying to finish up our harvest, and you know what? I could go get the other tractor and roll in here. Yeah, I think I've finished everything up here. May as well head on down over to the other field and start getting ready for baling. Oh, wonder why that didn't open. Oh, there it did. Just a little glitch. Go by the gurgling stream at the base of Gelvin Valley here. And find the gate. And try to stay out of harm's way. Yeah, you know what? I was hesitating going through here. Just trying to remember if I can run the baler and everything else through here. We're going to be spending some significant quality time with our baler as soon as we get harvest done and get this all ready to go. Actually, with the bales, when I sell those, that's where I hope to recoup at least some of the deficit that I have, even if I hold on to the grain for a little while and try to wait for better times. I can at least sell the bales and make some of this up. Alright, it's a monster hill in here. Here's a little flat spot. What's the weather? I think we're back over here. Yeah, we got decent days, at least 4 of them, and then we have a little bit of hail on the way, it appears. And back in these days of farming sim, the forecast is golden. Unlike in real life where, oh come on, get up the hill. If any of us, performed at our day jobs the way weathermen perform at theirs, we'd be fired. I would be. Actually, I'm probably being unkind. It's extremely difficult to tell what weather is coming, to forecast it, and I sure couldn't do it. And probably a day or 2 out, they do all right. It's just the longer term stuff that's more difficult. But I'm glad we're almost done. We'll move on to something else and get these fields replanted for the fall, or in the fall here. We're pretending to be on seasons, kind of. And get all set up for another year. And even as I say that, I'm thinking of, here at the time as I record this, it's November of 2024. I know I haven't been paying much attention to it, but I know there's a lot of excitement, with the advent of Farm Sim 25. And I'm probably gonna buy it. I know here of late I've spent very little time in Farm Sim 22, and probably part of that is memories. The sole amount, well, not sole amount, but the limited amount of time I've spent in Farm Sim 22. I spent with our good friend Atomic 67. And the map that he and I started, I just haven't had the heart to go back to it, hardly ever. And so I don't know, maybe that's what's caused me to hardly want to even look at 22 and many of the things. I know there's many improvements in it over these games in the past. Improved physics, improved pretty much everything. But I just can't get past some of those memories. But I think I'm going to get 25 anyways. And I'd be curious what you all are going to do. You going to get it now, or you going to wait till some odds come out? I know that's what some people do. And some people I know they're such early adopters. Not only do they get into the new one, they delete their old versions of the game, and they totally start fresh, clean slate, and just come what may, whatever schedule the odds have, they just take it as it comes. Whereas whenever I change a computer, my job, it's more and more difficult because I feel compelled to reinstall every single version of the game that I own, which is pretty much all of them. But be that as it may, having another version coming. Oh, hey, look at that. He's right through the field. He's got one. Oh, I'm not even driving straight. I'm not paying attention to my combine. Okay, so let me go grab this little dab over here. Kind of missed it. Let me park this up here at the top of the hill, and I'm going to go deal with the combine. And we're going to start doing few other things as soon as I get this windrow done. As I think on it now too, I was strongly considering selling or disposing of the combine. I think I may still do that. I'll probably do that off cam, so you don't have to watch me driving that silly thing down there. I think I'd like to sell it at the store. I think you get a little bit of a premium. I don't expect I'll get much at all. It's kind of an old bird at this point. We've used it for many seasons faithfully. And probably in the future, I'll just rent one, and maybe I could tinker with a larger combine. Although, with the kind of hills that we have in here, it sure is helpful to have that hillside feature. Alright, let me go to the combine. Well done, well done. Let's crank her up and head. Actually, I gotta finish emptying it. Hopefully there is. Sometimes with course play, the silly tractor will run away when you try to sneak up on it and start filling it. We'll see if it does that to us. Alright, doesn't matter. Can I send him off? There used to be request driver, send driver home. Let me see if I can do that. Yeah, I think he's going to go take the out. Alright, we are done. So I'm going to take this back home. We'll park it. And we are done with harvest. It's always a good feeling to start harvest. It's another very good feeling to be done with it, to have everything in the barn, everything out of the fields. Now we just have the fall field work to make sure we get everything taken care of so we can get that next crop in the ground. I mentioned upcoming Farm Sim 25. The one frustration I have, well, there's maybe a few frustrations. I don't mean to knock anybody, least of all giants. I know there's lots of people that complain, and I try really, really hard not to complain. I know it's just something that we do, but one suggestion I would have, I guess, for the Giants, if any of them ever trip along here, is to make ordering of your games easier. It's when you're looking to buy something and you want to give a company money because you believe in their product, only to have it rejected again and again and again. That's extremely frustrating. I was here the other day trying to purchase some of the last bits of Farm Sim 22. I don't know, I guess I'm a farming sim purist. I like having all the DLCs, whether I use them or not. I never know if in the future I may use them. I seem to focus on the old versions. In 10 years I'll be finally getting into Farm Sim 22 maybe. Haha. So anyway, I'm trying to get these. One thing that'd be helpful is to kind of have a shopping cart approach. Like when you buy something off of Amazon.com and you go on there and you get this product, that product, whatever it is, and you can load them up in your shopping cart, and then when you're done shopping, you go pay for the whole thing. Well, not so apparently on the Giant site. You have to get them one at a time, all these separate transactions, which I wouldn't mind so much, were it not for the second problem, which is so much of the time it doesn't allow me to complete the purchase, and it's really frustrating. My credit card, for whatever reason, they don't it just doesn't allow it to go through. And hey, this is done too. Alright, we'll stop him, we'll take him out. I tried and tried and tried yesterday evening to do it. My personal credit card, they wouldn't accept. And so I tried my company card. I got one with this business that I'm part of, and I figured I would take it out of my personal draws there. And it worked for 4 transactions. And we're talking pitifully small transactions. One of the DLCs was like a whopping 99 cents. So we're not talking huge dollars here. There was 4 smaller ones, but I couldn't keep doing it. So let me head back out here. I think we can finish this up. So I go into the, first I Google it. I go onto the main forum. Turns out many other people have had the problem. There wasn't really any solutions on the forum as to how to deal with it. But suggestion was to work with support, and I think I've had this problem before. It eventually gets straightened out, but I'm really not sure just what is the cause. And one of the things after going through support, buying it directly from the Giants, like I've typically done with these, for whatever reason, I've chosen not to run it through Steam. Not sure why. I don't know if there's any problems with running it on Steam ever. Maybe I should be doing it that way. My credit card seems to work just fine with Steam. But anyway, the help stuff through the Giants website suggests, maybe it's my credit card's problem. Maybe it isn't activated, to handle a foreign transaction or whatever. So today, I call my credit card company and to try to see why they may be rejecting, these. Let's see, is that good enough? Yeah, that'll be good enough. Why they would reject, transactions, because they know they would have data in their system that I purchased from the Giants many, many times before, but still they are, disallowing it. Well, so I finally called them up. That was an experience in its own right. I don't know about you all, but I have very little use for the AI voices that are used by these companies, where they replace people. You call up the credit card company, and I get the answer is some feminine sounding AI voice, and I'm talking to it, and it says, basically, why are you calling us? What's your question? What's your problem? Whatever. So I try to tell her what it is, and I already know, maybe it's because I have a terrible voice. That's part of my motivation for having a YouTube channel, which I've mentioned before, is just to give myself opportunity to exercise my voice, uh, just to try to help myself out. But anyway, so maybe that's the reason. I call the air, and the AI voice just doesn't recognize someone, with the voice disorder that I happen to have. But it was really, really frustrating. It's kind of like talking to someone who can't hear, and they say, hey, and you got to repeat yourself a million times. Well, that's kind of what it felt like interacting with a stupid computer. I was so frustrated. It's like I asked it repeatedly, and I want to talk to someone, give me to a human being, and sorry you're having such a hard time, or something that it would say. It was just ridiculous. But it did finally give me to a person with my credit card company, and so I asked them about, Giants, transactions with Giants, and, ask if there's anything special I need to do to set it up so it can handle international transactions. Why would the credit card company be rejecting it? Those kinds of questions. And the lady was really nice. She says, well, I see those transactions coming through, but we're not rejecting them. She said it's getting rejected at the company side, apparently for not having the correct information. And by correct information, I really don't know what that is. I mean, anybody listening to this, I don't know where you've purchased your farming sim game, but if you get it directly from the Giants, exactly, like I do, what they happen to ask for. And it's pretty basic, they want your email, they want your home address, they want just some really basic things, and some of it probably is to line up, with whatever the credit card company says, to make sure you're legit. And then you put in your little credit card number, the security code, the expiration date, the name on the face, all that basic stuff, that we're used to. So I really don't know what's going on. I finally, and I went through the support system for Giants again, and finally was able to send him an email and just say, hey, here's what I'm trying to do. Here's what I'm trying to purchase, i.e. here's money I want to send to you. How do I get this? Oh, shoot, I turned it off too soon. How do I get this to actually work? So I don't know. We'll see where that goes. And I don't know if it makes a difference, if there's 10 million people logged on at any given time, maybe it's more strain on the systems, so it rejects transactions. I seem to recall it was practically the middle of the night, when I was doing this, so I don't know, maybe it's when all of Europe was awake and everybody's trying to buy, Farm Sim 25 or pre-order right now, so who knows, maybe that's what is causing it. And like I say, I'm pretty sure it's happened to me before, and it eventually got squared away. So maybe this is just what I need to do. I probably should have done this across the field rather than up and down it. That probably would help, but oh well. A little too late now. At least we can speed up a little bit going downhill. I am looking forward to going and getting a baler and loading this map up with bales, basically visiting every single place we've harvested. And it's 9 in the morning, so I'm hoping it shouldn't even take a full day to not only bale it. No, I guess I don't know. I don't even remember. It takes long enough, and I don't do this day after day after day that I forget just how much time was spent on it before, so maybe it'll take longer than I think to get the job done. Whatever it is, I'm looking forward to trying to reverse the deficit a little bit. Get up here and round the bend. And for a while we were using the round baler, so I'm sure if I tried to do this on the slope here, they'd roll. If I didn't have, yeah, I remember that from some of the earlier episodes. Every single field, the round bales, you'd see them bouncing and rolling and bobbing clear down to the bottom of the hill, where fortunately Wild West had some fences and whatnot to kind of hold them in. But we don't have that problem any longer. I'd like to get into animals on this map at some point too, but I've just felt I can't until I have some decent money, but maybe I just need to take some risk, borrow some, and go for it. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Go bankrupt? Whoop. Well, and as I record this too, I am roughly 1 week past an important event in my daughter's life. I think last episode I was just kind of ruminating, considering memories and so forth on my daughter as she and her now husband, we got them hitched this past Friday, week ago Friday that is. And, you know, it's weddings, they take a huge amount of planning, and I think I alluded to some of that, and there's a whole lot of fuss the day of going through it, and then there's cleanup, and just the time, you know, that it takes to do all this. It's an enormous sacrifice. You know, my wife and I were going to be paying the bill off for a while, probably, you know, to cover all the things. And weddings are so expensive too. And I've heard lots of theories on that, and I say theories, different approaches, you know, to where maybe some couples opt to have something simpler, but then there's others that they want the fancy wedding, and I know it's a thing, especially with young ladies and probably not so young. And I don't know what it is. You know, it's maybe some of it, you know, this is going to sound shallow, but some of them maybe like having a day where the focus is all on them. And so they build a day or build a wedding with that in mind. And indeed, I mean, the bride obviously is very important to a wedding, but so is a groom. I mean, so I don't know. There's all kinds of different philosophies. It isn't mine to judge, but I know I've heard of some stories, and you know, sometimes you wonder if they're real, or if they're just someone's fantasy of what they wish could have happened. You know, for example, where a dad of the bride says, you know what? Here's a choice. We'll pay for the wedding that you have, or you can do something simpler, and I'll write you a check for the difference. And then you got some seed money for starting out in life or whatever. Yeah, maybe on the one hand, that seems a little heartless. You know, if someone wants that, but daddy, you know, give me the money too. Anyway, we can have funny expectations sometimes. Maybe I'll just head this up the hill too. When we're not the ones paying for something that we're benefiting from. I'm trying to remember my own wife and I's wedding. I don't think I was. Yeah, like I say, weddings are generally not a guy thing. Well, they are. But we show up because we're interested in one thing. We just want the bride. That's why we come. We want her and to take her home. And probably most of us wouldn't care two hoots if we were dressed up for it or not. But I mean, that's another kind of funny thing sometimes about us. It seems the world in a lot of ways has gone very casual on so many things. You know, I remember when I started my working career, I had to dress formal the first 4 days of the week, and then I could dress down a little on the 5th. When I say formal, I mean full suit and tie, white shirt, button down, white shirt, collar, the whole 9 yards, you know. And then Friday, it was what they would call business casual. Basically just slacks and a button-down shirt, nice shoes, and all that. Well, now, I know, like in our local accounting office, just over time, it's gotten way more casual, which I appreciate. I like being comfortable as I do the work. If you don't need to dress in a suit, then why bother? Let's see, which one do I want to park in? Yeah, maybe I'll give myself a little more room and stash it over here. You know what? I still have that round baler. Part of me thinks maybe I just gotta sell that. I don't know that I'm gonna need it. I like having these other bits here. Yeah, maybe off cam I'll do a little bit more work and haul that thing up there too. Us to get it up there. Oops, ended up in cab there. So let me hop over to here. I think this is my trailer, right? Let me see. What do I got in the garage? Yeah, that's my trailer. All right. Frankly, could probably could rent it too and be fine. Let's see, do I have enough sauce? I think I'll just come in here. I'll get a new drink before I head up to the store and come home with a baler. Or maybe not come home. I'll just start making a circuit, making bales. And like I said, I don't know what your philosophy is on weddings. By all means, make a comment. Oh, took out some barrels. Oopsie. They'll be all reset back up when we come back in here. And even though, for us men folk, even though we're there for the bride, I don't want to say that we want to show up as slobs. If we're taking it serious, maybe that's why we dress up. Here we went to our wedding down there of this young couple, and I went down in jeans, first of all, because, there was still more work to do, more things to move around, things we had to get ready. But then as the time got closer, they got married at 4 is when the ceremony started. Of course, prior to then, probably around 3, I changed into full suit and tie and all that, as did everyone else, for the pictures and everything of a special day. But I just hope, that we do those things. It's just something that we do, but maybe it's because we're trying to take seriously the day and what it represents and what it hopefully means our hope for the future is. I think we in this world still have the ideal that marriage is for life. That you wouldn't have to go through a painful divorce or have a split home or anything like that. And yet the painful reality is, you look at the statistics, where over half of the marriages end up in divorce. It's terrible. And to a lot of men anymore going through that, when they suffer through that, and I'm not saying who's at fault. Maybe the man's a dirtbag. But to lose half of your stuff, when so many marriages are initiated by women too, there's a lot of men I know have just thrown their hands up and say, screw it, we're not going to get married. And, well, I don't know. I don't know if that's a right attitude either. Something's definitely broken. Maybe it's our expectations, maybe it's our selfishness, and I'm not going to point the finger at either sex. I think both are broken, and there's some blame there to go around to all. There's a lot of what I see anymore, my humble opinion, you can take it or leave it, is men aren't the men anymore that they used to be, and ditto for the women. All right, let's hop out of the tractor now that I lay that bombshell on the table. Present company excluded, of course. I'm, of course, not talking about anybody here. We're all real men. Direct selling. Okay, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Maybe the other trigger's on the other side. You know what? It doesn't matter. Okay, we need a baler. And I think this is a one I've used in the past. I have no idea how many hours it's gonna take, but let's get it. Yeah, it cost a pretty penny. Fortunately, they're letting me borrow it. I got an amazing banker who's letting me have this floating line of credit, whatever you call it. Just let me do my thing, because he believes in the future of farming. Here, oh, shucks, on good old Gelvin Valley. Get one more. Oops, did I still drop it? I guess I did. Oh, I see. I dropped my front weight. Okay, let's head to the field and let her rip. Because every field has been prepared right in the wake of the combine, so we should be able to dive on in here, go through our narrow gate, try to pick this up. Crank her up, Charlie. There we go. Oh, come on. There's something it doesn't like in the ground. Oh, bumps it's going over. I don't know what bumps it's hitting. Last time in the video, I think I commented on the speech that I was supposed to have. There were several people who spoke, and oh, you know what? I almost think last time I borrowed a different tractor, because I'm not sure mine has enough horsepower under the hood to be able to do it effectively. Anyway, so when you come back in here, I may be driving a different... Yeah, I'm kind of bogging down going up the hill here. And I'm going to be in much steeper... It's going to cost more money. It's probably what I need to do. So as soon as I round the bend up here, I'll go get another tractor. Try to put it on... You know, these bales really don't quite match the color of the straw there, do they? Alright. Well, as everybody heard, the bell sounded, so I'm gonna go... I gotta drive this home. That was kind of dumb to bring it up here. See, it goes so long I forget kind of what I do. I think I will park this somewhere, maybe right here. Turn it off, and I'm going to head over to the store and get me another tractor. Thank you so much for coming along to listen to me jabber about this, that, and whatever. I will see you on the next one, where we're going to do a lot of baling. Take care.